This next video on our series about intellectual property in the commercial world, a key point on IP, and often actually the area where IP raises its head first, is in valuation. Either because a business wants to value a specific piece of work or product or service that contains IP, or an idea, and they're trying to invest some money and they're trying to evaluate how much money they should invest in that idea to make it real. Or IP sits within a cluster of assets in a business transfer or an asset transfer. And in any event, someone's trying to get their head around what the value of IP is. Now, it's important to say that although it's necessary in some cases to protect IP in a particular administrative way, and you need to have registrations in place, they need to be registered to the right legal entities, etc. Those things in themselves don't define the value of the underlying IP. And actually, there's a lot of mysticism in IP valuation that can be taken away by understanding what is this asset, how is it currently used in the business, and is that an essential part of what this business does overall? If yes or no, then that will give you an answer as to is it valuable relative to the business. The second question is, if it's not necessary for the business itself, can it be described or proposed to the market as necessary or valuable to somebody else? So if a business happens in as a side effect of its manufacturing process to have refined a particular process, and they've gone so far as to patent that process, and they've got protection and ownership on that process, are there other competitors or other types of industry that use the same or similar process that could use it to gain value in their business? And obviously that will then put up the value, the market value of that patent. Similarly, if you have patented something that is of no interest whatsoever to anybody else, it passes all of the legal requirements to be a patent and you've paid the fees, that's irrelevant to the market, and the market will place no value on it whatsoever. Now, IP assets tend to increase in value by volume. So if you have a business that has a huge database of patents, a huge portfolio of trademarks, and a wide variety of categorized copyright works, for example, manuals and know-how, and maybe large reams of software, it's very hard to identify individual value on those assets. But the IP generally will probably form a significant part of how people regard that business and regard that business as having value, i.e. its goodwill. And so IP tends to contribute quite significant amounts to the value that people will place on goodwill, which is the intangible value, the premium that buyers will place on top of the generic value of the assets. So I think it's important for people to understand that IP valuation can go down into the nitty-gritty, but really it starts with what's the practical market utility of whatever it is that has been protected, and then you can take more technical questions after that.